How's it going, everyone? Octopus here and welcome back. We're doing a tag team tournament for the Hercules and Phil medals. This was requested by a couple of my subscribers. They asked that I make a free-to-play setup for this. Not everyone's struggling, but it was a request, so I will do it for you guys. We're going to start from the part 2, or the difficulty 2, with Hades. The one before that and everything else is basically straightforward. You guys can use whatever you need to use. It's just these ones require just a little bit of strategy, and I'm going to help you guys with that. So for Hades, part 2, 7 out of 7. This is my setup. We're using Ariel and Flounder because I didn't put a Sebastian with SP gauge 1 or 2 because I did get an Ariel and Flounder. Everyone else, for your ×3 buffer, your Sebastian is good enough. It's actually better because if you have SP gauge 1 on it, it's only costing you 1 SP compared to my Ariel and Flounder who has 3 SP. The only downfall is that later on I can put a second chance or a defense boost on my Ariel and Flounder, and I have extra utility. But it hasn't been needed yet. As you guys can see, Ariel and Flounder, still no skill down here, so it's not that big of a deal. Your Sebastian is more than enough. But enough rambling of that. We're going to use Moana here. If you guys don't have Moana, just throw in, I would say, instead of using the 2 classic Donalds, I haven't tested this out, but your young Kyries, they raise strength and defense of all attributes by 1 tier for 1 turn. You know what? Why not? For this video, my strategy was, as you guys can see, which the normal strategy I use all the time. Moana, 2 classic Donalds, and a Rex. But for the sake of this video, let's take away that strategy. Let's just try this out. So we do have young Kyrie. I have a 5-star somewhere. Let me just look for her real quick. Let me organize this better. Yes, make this more efficient for you guys. Okay, so young Kyrie, let's just grab the first one. We're gonna put her in a good slot right over here. So Moana's still gonna be part of this, I guess. Actually, no, you don't need Moana. That was the whole point of that. I don't know why I was thinking like, oh, we're gonna keep Moana still. That's a waste. But anyways, here we go. Here's the other one. So you guys got a 5-star for free. I know you guys still have this one. Please tell me you didn't combine all of them. You get 3 copies. If you have been listening to my guides, I always tell you 3 copies. Just keep 3 copies of everything you have, no matter what. But, so 1, 2, we are going to use only 2 copies here. You don't need 3. 3 is if you have a gilted Larkstein B, Zigbar B, whatever you got gilted, fully gilted, stick it there, put 3 young Kyries, and you basically have yourself a huge defense boost and an attack boost, which should be more than enough for a lot of you guys. The only problem is 3, 6, 9, that's 9 SP plus your buffer, that's 12. Everyone else with Sebastian SP gauge 2 or 1, it's 10 or 11. But let's finish this off. Let's get our classic Donald back in there. I don't know why I took him out. I do have the classic Donald with attack boost 3 max, so you guys don't need max on classic Donald. It's just because it's my spare one and I have no problem throwing it away later. Attack boost 3 is more than enough for this classic Donald. So what we're doing here, we're going to get a ×2 buff. We're going to get our classic Donald nice and powerful, and then we're going to add a little bit more damage. We should survive Hades' attack with Elt defense boost, actually. I start this video with a strategy for you guys, and then I'm looking at it, I'm like, let's make an up-to-date strategy, because a lot of people don't have Moana. If you guys saw the Keyblade setup before, just use that Keyblade setup. It's very, very easy. Just throw a defense boost on there, Moana plus 2 classic Donalds, wrecks everything. But let's do this now. I'm this close to guilting my Zigbar B, because this guilting campaign is nowhere in sight. I am giving this the last week, and then I'm guilting this. I am preparing my mirrors dedicated to this. If I get 40%, 60 mirrors is going to Zigbar B for both my accounts. I don't care anymore. I'm not waiting. There's specific medals like this that just need to be guilted now because they are useful now. There's no point in waiting. Everything else I could wait for, but Zigbar B is definitely one of those medals I need guilted right now for this account. Now, I'm not recommending that. Don't do it yet. Let's just wait 1 more week. But if 1 more week, or I don't know, maybe not even 1 more week, maybe up to the anniversary. If the anniversary doesn't have a guilting campaign, we'll talk about that. But enough rambling. Let's continue this. Again, my medals are not guilted. This Larkstein B is when I started this account and I just missed the rest of this event. I wasn't strong enough, or I just didn't have the right skills. I needed an attack boost 2, and I was able to get the next 2, but I didn't. So my Larkstein B is not guilted, guys. So you don't need crazy guilted. All you need is that 1 classic Donald, and that wasn't too long ago, so hopefully you guys have that. Besides that, if you don't have Larkstein B or classic Donald, especially classic Donald, if you don't have classic Donald, you're a little too early to the game. and you might not be able to do this unless you're spending tons of money. But be patient, eventually you'll be able to do it. You can probably even do it right now, I just haven't looked into it. So we're gonna go with this strategy. I don't know if it's gonna work. I don't have any APPs on here, which kind of hurts, but we're gonna see how it goes. Now, there's two options here. We're going by free to play here for the event. We can use Classic Donald, or we can use a Larkscene B that's fully gilded. The only problem with Larkscene B is that it's in the end of our Keyblade setup, so she's only going to be a 2.6 multiplier by the time we get to activate her. Where Classic Donald, he's boosted, and he's going to be a 3.49. So I actually think Classic Donald is better here than using a Larkscene B. If you guys have anything else in your party that's super powerful, like my main account's Dark Side fully gilded or something like that, then go right ahead, use that. Use these World of Final Fantasy medals as a friend medal, and you'll have actually an easier time. But I want to make this for people everywhere, so let's go with this. Let's try this out. Let's put that Classic Donald friend medal and actually see if the strategy works. I don't know. I haven't tested this, so I can be completely wrong. But Young Kairi is really good. Are they worth the SP gauge attack 1 or 2? No, just put some APPs on them and you should be fine. So we're gonna go full out here. This is gonna cost a lot, but it should work. So we're buffing, we're doing damage and buffing, by the way. I should have switched those two around. I should have put the 6-star in the 3rd slot for that little bit more damage, but oh well, it's too late. So this might be overboard for this one. I was actually thinking of the second last quest, Hades, this setup. This is definitely overboard. What we're gonna do here is just Hades one-shot him probably. We're pretty close with the Larkscene, even though it's not gilded. Let's see. Larkscene B with attack boost 2, not gilded. Activate our level 19 Nova. You guys can't see because my big ass head is in the way, but I only have level 19 Nova level. So with that, Hades is down. Let's just tap on the big guy and end this one. So if this did work, I'm gonna give up here because I don't want to waste my SP, but it worked. So it worked for that one, or you can use the Moana, which is a lot better. I heard the prize chest still for some reason. I hope it didn't take my SP. But that's for 7 out of 7 for difficulty 2. We're on the 3-star, which is the harder difficulty. We'll call this advanced. There is beginner, intermediate, and advanced. That's usually how it is, but they're just using a star system, which is fine. So we'll start with the cannon gun. Cannon gun is magic, but I believe he's with a buddy. He has a buddy with him that's, I think, no, sorry. This is speed. The buddy he has is magic. So do we go in with this setup? It's a newer setup. It's probably not going to work. Let's just go with Olympia. So Olympia, I'm not going to use anything too special here. Let's throw in something extra. Why not? Let's put in, let's get that defense boost in there, just in case. So we're going to throw in a defense boost. Maui's going to be our main damage dealer here. I think at this point you can probably guilt a Hercules and Phil already. I would recommend guilting your Hercules and Phil once and then saving the re-rolls for the guilting campaign. But I didn't do that. I have my Classic Dawn here with the attack boost 1. That's a thing. Let's just try this. Let's see if this works. If this doesn't work, I'll just cut this out and we'll go back in with another setup. I forgot what I used for this already. I'm so terrible at this. It's only got 15 out of 19. That's fine. We are going to use Meowjesty. Meowjesty is a random attack. I actually don't know if you guys need this part, but I'm going to put it anyways. So, no, we have a speed and a power. It was a power friend. So that's why I was thinking Divine Rose. I'm pretty sure I used Divine Rose because even Classic Donald should do enough damage here. We're not going to use our Goofy. We're not going to use this. We are going to use Maui. Hopefully attack boost 2 goes off. It does. It takes out that guy. Finish this off with our friend Maui. You probably would want to use your Nova there, but okay, not necessary. So another one, very easy. You actually don't need any of that. I don't know if this part's important enough for you guys, but these are simple. These are very, very simple. I don't think any of these get difficult until, you know what? I said I was going to do it. Let's do it. Let's just keep going. We have an invisible, which is speed. Let's just use Olympia again. Up-to-date version of the Olympia without Maui. Obviously, you use Classic Donald in that slot, and then in the slots before that, just use the Young Kairis. You know what? Let's just update this. Let's just see if this works. I know I keep switching stuff around, and I did this without doing this, but now that I'm actually thinking about it, you might as well use this strategy because this is more up-to-date and it seems to work. So you don't need Moana Maui's. They are a lot better, but what are you going to do? A lot of people are new, so let me see if I can reach out to the new people. I'm probably making this video too long by doing these little setups in front of you, but why not? Let's see a little bit of my thinking process of how this works. I had a completely different strategy to show you guys, and now that I'm thinking of young Kairis, and hopefully you guys kept them, if you don't have Moana or Maui, it's a very good substitute. So what we are going to do here, it's heavy costing though, so you do need APPs on these. Or if you are flooded in SP gauge 1, you can make one of them SP gauge 1, and that should be fine. So we are going to use Classic Donald here. Attack boost doesn't go off, but as you can see, if attack boost went off, it's more than enough damage. If I actually had enough SP here, I could use my Young King Mickey and finish this guy off. Oh, a tap is good enough anyways. So there you go. That's another one down. Let's quit before I have to like restore SP. I hate doing that, and I always forget every time I make a video for you guys. So now we're at 3 out of 6. We can go back to Divine Rose because this one is power. And we are going to use the same setup. Like again, I didn't expect to do it this way. Again, also, these are all event medals. So event farmable free medals is pure free to play. The only difference is Sebastian is supposed to be in here. But you guys should have that Sebastian. Anybody else is too new, you're going to have a little bit harder time, but I'm pretty sure you can figure it out. Just make sure you have a good mixture of boost. You need ×3 strength if your medals are very weak. If you don't have weak medals, you just need ×2 at least. So, we don't... I should... Actually, no, that's fine. I'm not using Moana, so I can activate no anytime I want. All you gotta do is equip Divine Rose and completing 3 turns. So we don't have to one-turn this, but we want to make sure that we're not going to get killed by the Morning Star. So let's take out the Morning Star first. So... with 2 young Kairis and the Classic Donald is more than enough. Our Larksing Bee is not guilted. If yours is guilted, you're totally fine here. Friend Medal finishes off. This is actually a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. So there you go. There's that round. Young Kairis, guys. I hope you guys kept more than 2. 2 minimum. I hope you have 2 minimum and you kept 3 just in case that you have to use ×3 buffer, 3 young Kairis, Zigbar B. Any boss, I'm pretty sure in the game you guys can take down. Especially when the bosses say 2 turns or 3 turns, I bet you any money that's a perfect strategy. So let's continue. 4 out of 6. We're facing the Wyvern. Again, he is power, so why change the setup? The only possible thing you guys can do here is add a Zigbar B, but you should be fine because you don't have to 1-turn these. You can 3-turn this one. You can 3-turn this one. The only situation, again, I see happening here is I run out of SP. And I'm definitely going to if I don't get to one-shot these guys. So what we're going to do is take down the Wyvern. Yes, Classic Donald, more than enough damage. I'm over there because I have a screen. It's bigger than looking down the tablet. But, yeah, this is more than enough damage here, guys. Again, SP, not even a problem. Look at all that SP used, and we're still fine. Okay, sorry about that. We're back. That was my phone. I forgot to turn it off. Unprofessional, but it happened. So what ended up happening was I just used Classic Donald and Larksing B, and it finished this one off too. So another very, very easy quest. So if you guys are partially new, or you've been around for a long time and you didn't get Maui or Moana, great substitute. Young Kairi, very powerful medal. Alright, so for Hades, we do have to go back to the old strategy. I would just want to show you the Young Kairi. You can use this strategy. It's just that you need a lot of APPs on this setup or some way to restore your SP. If you did spend money on the Minnie and Daisy, then put Minnie and Daisy there instead of the Larksing B. Put Minnie and Daisy on the last slots. If you have SP gauge 1 or 2 extra copies, use them on the Young Kairis. Make them both SP1. I don't recommend that because that can be used on a lot of other medals. But if you are floating SP gauge 2 and 1, then why not lower them? I would actually recommend instead of SP gauge 2, put APPs on there. If you run APPs, that's actually a lot better than running those SP gauges because you can fall into problems where they don't activate, then you can't activate because you don't have enough SP for the initial setup. So APPs are good enough on Young Kairis, I think. Especially if you have one Guilted Attack Boost 2 APP on one of them. More than enough, guys. But this strategy is not going to work because it's too heavy costing on this account. If I did have a bunch of SP attack gauges and APPs, I would do it for you. But this account doesn't have that much. So let's go back to the old strategy. The old strategy was using my Moana. and 2 Classic Donalds. You guys seen this before. The only difference here, we're not going to use Larkstein B because it's not possible. What you want to do is grab whatever medal you have that has defense boost. 1 or 2. It doesn't have to be 2, it doesn't have to be 3. It just has to be 1 or higher. Don't worry about that. It doesn't have to be that incredible. You could also activate the medal for the defense boost, but again, SP is always an issue, so try to stay away from that. Unless you really have to, make sure you have some APPs in there. So this is the strategy we're going with. This is the strategy I actually used to complete most of this, and it worked out fine, but I threw that little young Kari tip in there. Eventually I will talk about that medal and show you better strategies for it once I have better skills. The whole problem with this game is skills, and that's why I recommend avatar boards to you guys all the time. Avatar boards are super important. You guys need at least a good amount of skills for your base Keyblade, the Keyblade you're going to use for everything. So, ×3 buffer, Moana here, it doesn't have to have APP on it. If it goes off, it gives you a little bit extra, which is fine. Don't forget, if you use Moana buffs for 3 attacks. So if you end up using your Nova here, your next Classic Donald would not get it. So this Classic Donald's going to go on Hades, the one that has attack boost too, because we want to take down the Visible. But the thing here, if I click on Nova, and then I try to activate this Classic Donald won't get Moana's buff. So remember that. If a medal that says for the next 3 attacks buffs, then if you use Nova, you just lost one of those attacks because Nova counts as an attack. So don't use Nova after Moana, Maui, or any medal like that. Use it before or after the 3 attacks are up. So let's continue. We're going to take down the Visible with our attack boost 3 Classic Donald. We're not going to really take it down, but Nova plus that attack is more than enough. If you guys see a little pinch, we're going to swipe with this, and we're not going to use Classic Donald Friend here. It's actually here just to finish it off. It is going to be used next turn. Actually, we got to survive another turn. So I believe on the 3rd turn, his buff goes away. So don't activate anything. Just tap right through, and hopefully another defense boost 2 goes off. It does, and as you can see, all his buffs are gone. And the requirement is complete within 3 turns. So on the 3rd turn, this is where you waste your SP, because now you're actually going to do a good amount of damage. You could probably even get away with using less SP for the last one. You didn't have to use your Classic Donald on him. You could have just used attack boost 3 to take down the Visible and waited the next 2 turns. But we have more than enough SP on this. We're going to use both our Classic Donalds. This one might even be enough. No, it's not enough. If it had attack boost 3, it would be enough. But definitely, even just this one by itself would have been enough. I didn't need to use the one before that. So as you guys can see, very easy. I'm going to quit here again because of the SP. I already completed this, and we're going to go to the last one. So lots of choices here. Just remember that Hades, even if you're having trouble in the other ones, like the beginning ones, you're newer to the game, you can wait till the 3rd turn. I'm pretty sure that it is 3 turns as well. No, 2 turns. So maybe on the 2nd turn on this one, the buff goes away. I'm not sure. But maybe you just want to pass it. You don't need that many Hercules and Phils. They gave us a lot of rerolls. So we're going to go into this one with... Alright, so actually for this last one, what we're going to do is stick to that original strategy I was talking about with Moana, 2 Classic Donalds, and a defense boost 2. So what we want to do here is use a friend medal Marluxia B, because that's what's going to help us take out the entire area. What you want to do is save one of your Classic Donalds. So we're going to go into this fight. As you can see, there's monsters everywhere. They're very low on HP, so you don't have to worry. Activate your ×3 buffer. Throw down your Nova right away, especially if you're using Moana, like I said before. Activate Moana. Hopefully the APP goes off. It doesn't. It's not that big of a deal. She does good damage with attack boost 2 and Guilted. You don't have to worry about that. Your Marluxia B friend medal is going to be good enough. What you want to do here is swipe, and then Marluxia B will take care of the rest. Moana is not necessary. Her power is not necessary. It helps, but it's not necessary. So we are going to start attacking Hades here, or we're going to have an issue with HP. For the last ones, activate your friend medal, which should be Marluxia B, World of Final Fantasy medals, any heavy AoE Guilted medals you guys have, and that should take out the whole group. Now, defense boost 2 has to go off. If it doesn't go off, you're going to reset it. Hopefully defense boost? Defense boost. Okay, that took 3 retries, but that's all right. 3 retries is better than nothing. Now, what we can do here is go all out. So we can wait till the 3rd turn, but again, defense boost has to go off again. Instead, let's see if we can take him out now. I'm pretty sure I didn't wait all 3 turns for this. But if you are just a little bit weaker than this, then definitely wait for the 3 turns. But this setup is more than enough for the damage. Again, I'm not going to end this because I want to keep my SP. I do got to repeat all this for myself on the other Coliseum event. But as you guys can see, you can wait 3 turns, or if you're powerful enough, 2nd turn. If not, just tap all the way on the 2nd turn. Hopefully Defense Boost 2 goes off a 2nd time for you guys, and you can complete that on the 3rd turn because he will lose his buffs. As for the other one, guys, I have to go to work today. Tomorrow I will be posting this one. I'll show you how to get the gems. How good is it going to be as free to play using just event medals? I don't know yet. It looks really tough. I did it with my main account. I fully cleared it, got all the Mickey heads. It was actually really easy on my main account. I didn't use anything special either. It's just my Keyblade's level 30 on there for my Divine Rose, and that makes a huge difference, especially if you're using Classic Donald's, especially if you have Marluxia B, a Larxene B Gilted, stuff like that. But I would try my hardest on this account to go as far as I can to help you. And then I'll show you on my main account exactly what I use with event medals. The whole thing you guys got to remember, your Keyblade level is very important. Guilt is very important at some cases, and skills. I would say Keyblade level and skills takes priority over everything. If you have a really high level Keyblade and attack boost 3s, attack boost 4s, APPs, you can use medals like the Young King Mickey with a 3.5 multiplier, and he will still do a lot of damage, especially Meowjesty or stuff like that. Even if they're not gilted or very lowly gilted, a high level Keyblade and the right skills plus chips on your medals, you'll still do a lot of damage. So anyone who's new, you don't have to worry about too much about guilt. Don't forget, do not combine 7 medals together for this event. Do not combine your Hercules together unless you hit Quest 200. You can't guilt medals until you hit Quest 200. Just in case you've been seeing some guilting guides out there saying this is how you do it, and they forget to explain that you need Quest 200 and new players are wasting their medals. Quest 200, guys. So anyways, guys, that's all I got for you today. I will be posting this one tomorrow, so don't worry about that one. I just gotta go to work. Work finishes, wake up, and I'll post the next one, I swear. Everything else is gonna come in slowly. The Proud Quest, Proud Mode, everything that's those extra videos I was talking about, they will be coming. I just need to find time on it. I also have those other games I'm playing, so very hard, but I am doing it, guys. Once I figure out a couple things, like I was talking about building that room, once I have that room built, I will be posting more frequently and more streaming, hopefully. But anyways, thank you so much for watching. Keep on smiling, and I'll see you guys in the next one.